Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Rugby League Coach podcast. My name is Lee Addison and I'm a year older than when I last hosted this podcast and last sat in on this podcast. I am with Taylor Llewellyn Brown. How are you, Taylor?
Good, thanks, Leroy. How are you? You had your big 21st on the weekend. How was the bash?
29th,
sorry.
Yeah, again.
Big one next year, 30.
Yeah, that's right. No, it'll be 29 again. James Varley is joining us from the mother country. James, morning, mate. Well, it's evening here, so whatever. Mate, I am of the opinion, having lived here in the colony for so long, that whatever the weather is here, it is the exact opposite in England. So to test that theory now, I can let you know it's been 35 degrees in some parts near where I live today. What has it been near you, James?
It's been below freezingly this morning.
Okay, go on. What did it get to?
Last night it was -8.5 when I was travelling home, but that was late at night. And this morning it's been -4 this morning on the temperature.
So sweltering in comparison this morning.
Yeah.
Is your place covered in snow?
It's not. No, we've only had a smattering of snow, really.
Smattering?
It's just a little sprinkling, but it's just been the air temperature. It's just so cold.
Everywhere else seems to have copped a fair bit of snow. Anyway, you don't know what's coming now because, boys, I've got a surprise for you. We're talking about the back rowers this week.
Yes.
So when I say the back rowers, I mean the second rowers, because we're going to do a lock loose forward week next week, and Taylor, you're going to be the host of that. But you've probably come here thinking we're just going to have a nice little chat about second rowers.
Here we go.
Wrong. What we're going to do is I'm going to go club by club, and you're going to pick the best second rowers, the best 2 second rowers from each club. If you get a second rower from that club and you get the right club, you get a point. If you get it wrong, you minus point.
Right.
So please try and avoid just naming the current ones, right? We are going to also, I am going to be the judge. So when you've come up with your 2 second rowers each from the club, I'm going to give a point to the person who I think's got the best left second row, the best right second row. Okay? So there's basically about 3 points on offer on each team. To make this fair, I'm going to use 15 of the NRL clubs. So I'm going to get rid of the Titans because they're the youngest team, with the exception of Redcliffe. They're the youngest team that have set foot on the field. Because we've got James, it's only fair that we bring in the English clubs as well. And there's 12 Super League clubs at present, but there's also 3 that have been significant in either Super League or the top division for quite a while. And they're the London Broncos, the Widnes Vikings, and
Bradford Bulls, I'm guessing.
Bradford Bulls. So there's 15 English teams and there's 15 Australian teams. So you 2 are competing with each other. Now, Taylor, I think you'll have the advantage over the NRL, but I think James will surprise you with his knowledge of the NRL.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I think that you could pip him on that and probably have quite a good read on particularly the last decade or so, where James will have some gaps, but then James is going to start coming for you from the English Super League. What's your Super League knowledge like?
Oh, garbage, let me tell you. Garbage.
Okay.
I don't think I could name 10 teams.
Before we start, Taylor, what's your idea of a good second rower, and do they both need to be the same?
Well, that's a really good point. I guess coming into tonight, I was thinking of, topics and second rowers, and I was thinking pretty in depth about it.
And you've wasted your time because I've changed the whole thing without letting you know. Yeah.
There's two distinct, really, types of back rowers. And it's rare that you find one that can dabble in both. You have your really good, hard line running back rower. Examples that spring to mind. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give it away to Varley about who I'm thinking. But But, I think we all know them. Probably the most prolific of recent times is Boyd Cordner. Was one of the best at hitting good lines, just hard nosed, got yourself out of trouble. And then on the opposite end of that spectrum, you have your really heavily ball playing back rower, someone that can stand and deliver. A good example of that in recent times is Wade Graham. Often runs the line with options inside and outside. Of course, the Cronulla Sharks captain or co-captain.
You've also had the workhorse. I'd like to throw in a third.
Well, I think that's your Boyd Cordner. I think your Boyd Cordner does your workhorse and he's your hard line runner.
I did a post early in the week where I compared the 1995 second rowers in the Australian World Cup side. And Steve Menzies was left second row.
Yes.
I think he averaged something crazy like 4 hit-ups a game and 6 tackles.
Yes.
The problem is 4 of those 4 hit-ups, 2 were tries. and about 40 metres in length. On the right side, Gary Larson was 20, 30 tackles, 10, 15 hit-ups. So they were that really set my coaching agenda, if you like. I always thought I wanted my right second rower to be a better defender and my left second rower to be the best attacker. If you think back to some of the teams you played in with me, left edge Adam Elliott and right edge was Tylen Tarnavasa in the year that you played. And they were both good attackers, but Tylen was probably a steady defender on his right shoulder.
Yes.
Adam was the best attacking on the left edge, though.
Yeah.
Was best attacking on the left edge. So
I think that's pretty traditional, though. I think for most rugby league sides, their left edge is more often than not their more attacking side. I'm thinking of Panthers this year, Viliami Kikau, with Jerome Luai, and I believe that the young centre there as well that scored many a try this year. He actually had a brainer. His name escapes me, unfortunately. I loved him, but yeah. So even the Premiers this year, they had their main attacking weapons on that left-hand side, whereas on the right side, Cleary, Martin, Crichton, a more defensive edge. You'd argue a far more defensive edge. Yeah, that's a very prolific pattern you see throughout all of rugby league circles, and that's probably why you get the big difference in each side, on each side of the field.
It's my favourite position, and as a coach, most of my tries often get scored by second rowers, believe it or not, because I actually think. It used to be, didn't it, James, in England, that the second rower seemed to be a bit of a workhorse, but it seems to have evolved now into an extension of the centre, almost a centre that's not quite fast enough and is a bit bigger, kind of thing, So, look, without further ado, because we've got 30 teams to get through, so I'll start with you, James.
Okay.
Your best 2 ever St. Helens second rowers.
Chris Joint, I'd say, and I'm maybe going best ever's a bit much. Chris Joint. Now, I would say I'm going to put this man in the lock forwards next week, so I won't say him. Going back, I like the early '90s. I thought Sonny Nicol was a decent player.
He played a bit of second row. Yeah,
Sonny
I'm
Nicol.
gonna give you them too. Taylor Brown.
I know Curtis Tiernan plays for them now.
Yeah,
so you can have a point. You can have a point for that.
I'm a bit of a non-starter when it comes here, and I believe.
This is hilarious. Taylor lost for words.
Tils Vaya played for St Helens a couple of years ago on the back row.
Is that right, James?
I'm not.
Tils Vaya. How do you spell that? I'm going to search it.
He definitely did. He also played for the Dragons.
I'd have to search that.
Atalaya Vaya.
I've heard of Atalaya. I've heard of it. Did he play for Newcastle Knights as well? I got that right. I'm thinking,
So, did he definitely play for Saints?
No, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. 2015 to 16. There you go. Ha ha. Played 40 games. Played 40 games. Played 40 games for the Saints.
Okay, all right. So,
I'm trying to scrape by with points here.
That's all right. Taylor, you've named 2 that you could just pluck out of thin air. James, you've gone deep into the history book. So, James, you get an extra point there. So, the first round to James. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Penrith Panthers, I'll start with you, Taylor.
Okay. Tony Pulatua
is
on one of my edges. He's very, very damaging back rower.
Mm.
And then I'm going to go with Viliami Kikau.
James?
I'll go with Luke Lewis and Viliami Kickow. Am I allowed to name Kickow as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kickow's superb.
Yeah.
Kickow's just a complete all round game.
Mate,
Kickow.
and I'm a Luke Lewis fan in a massive way. So
Yeah.
you get that round too, James.
Right.
Oh.
The only reason why Luke Lewis isn't in mine is because I've got him in the Cronulla team. He won a contest.
You've also just given James an idea. Keep your mouth shut, Taylor. You're gonna.
I was gonna go even further back and go with Mark Geyer or someone like that.
Yeah,
but
good call. Good
But
call.
I didn't see too much of him play. I just know him as your prolific Penrith back rower. So it would be a bit. I'd be fishing for a name. I'd be fishing for a name.
There's also some really big fellas that played in the second row for them, and like in the 1991 grand final stuff. The names just escape me at the minute. I'm sure somebody will help us when they watch or listen.
Did Graham Bradley play for Penrith in 91? In the back row, Graham Bradley.
Search it, James, if you can. Can you search it on your phone while I...
Yeah. Well, I'm on my phone on my podcast.
Oh,
so then he went to Castleford and Bradford later on after that.
Yeah, you might be right about Graham Bradley. Let me check.
He was a centre as
Here
well.
Here we go.
Can you be the researcher,
Penrith Panthers 91.
There you go.
Graham Bradley, but he was in the centres.
Yeah, but he ended up playing second row though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who was in their team in 2003 too.
Luke Prittis.
In the back row, yeah.
He was the hooker, Luke Prittis, for their side.
What? Oh, let's just name any player that was in the
2001.
Team, Scott Sattler.
That's what I was. Scott Sattler.
Yeah. Was Waterhouse at loose forward for him then? Was it Waterhouse?
I'm going to check now.
Trent Waterhouse played back row for Penrith. I love
Ryan Girdler. Was he in that team? Ryan Girdler.
Girdler was more of a centre.
I'm just naming all the players. We're talking second row as you.
Oh, sorry.
Joe Nalaval was in the second row with Tony Pulatua.
Yeah. Tony Pulatua, who I called.
So you were all wrong. I
wasn't wrong. I called it. He was in my team. I had Pulatua and Kickout.
I'm going to get control of this podcast. It's going to be
powerful.
The pair of you talking about different positions. If you get the position wrong, that's -2 points. By the way, I'm just throwing that in.
I didn't get it. We weren't naming our team. We were.
I know that's awarded. If you name a player that's not in the second row during this, unless you explicitly say, "I'd just like to talk about this halfback that played in this team," right?
Somebody called NATO. We've got a dictator. Somebody called NATO.
Huddersfield Giants, James.
Oh, come
on. Huddersfield Giants. Right, let's try.
Taylor, if you've got any brain, you'd be Googling while I talk to James, wouldn't you?
Right. Huddersfield Giants. I'm really trying
to think. Who are
Huddersfield
Giants' best ever second rowers? Just Google that.
I'm trying to think here, Lee, to be honest. I might have caught me on a.
That's all right. Well, we
right.
Got a 30-second timer.
Have we got a 30-second timer?
Yeah, I'm going to start. That's another thing I'm going to start. I've not really thought through this competition.
David Fayumu wasn't a second rower, was he? He wasn't a back rower.
I'm going to check now. You didn't say. Oh, I'd just like to throw this other name. Is David Fayumu?
David Fayumu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was a second rower, but I'm not absolutely sure.
He played at the North Devils as well, didn't he, David Fayumu?
What position? Interchange bench.
Right.
I got mine too already. Joe Greenwood and Chris McQueen. I got mine too.
Yeah.
Great work. There's 2 for you. James has failed miserably.
I have
this is funny. This is good. I'm gonna give you each 1 minute when I go for teams now. I can't find the position for him. Oh, hook or lock. James, you're -1 because you.
Right.
Yeah, so you're in trouble. So Taylor, you're in the lead, 6-5. Okay. Cronulla Sharks. James, if you had any brains, you'd be Googling Cronulla Sharks best back rowers as we speak. Taylor.
Luke Lewis and Wade Graham.
Okay. James?
I've got Les Davidson from way back. And Chris McKenna played back row for Cronulla.
Right. Was he a lock though?
Chris McKenna.
So Les Davidson.
I've got one of them in my wallet, of Chris McKenna.
I think he played a bit of centre in McKenna, but I know he played second row.
Which played at Queensland? I can't find his position.
Nah.
It was a
Minus
bit
10.
interesting.
Minus 10.
Differently. I'm sure he played second row, McKenna.
Prop second row, yeah, you
Oh,
get that. You can have that. You can have that, James. Go on. And who was the other one you said?
Les Davidson.
Les Davidson.
No, I've got
Played
Les
for
Davidson.
Canova.
Who was the other one?
Chris McKenna.
Chris
Chris
McKenna.
McKenna.
Can you help me with the research here? The reason being is my keyboard's far away.
Chris
I
McKenna.
can't Google on my phone. That's the problem.
Second
Luke,
row,
'cause I'm-
yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Taylor, you're on 8. James is on 7. The best second row was there. Wade Graham, Chris McKenna. I'm just going to call that a draw. I'm just going to call that a draw, not give either of you a point.
Luke Lewis and Wade Graham. You're kidding, mate. You can't.
So,
don't take
have you
my
ever
NRL
seen?
points
Have you
off
ever
me.
seen Les Davidson play?
No, I haven't. But are you telling me he was?
You know
he
what?
was-
I'm going to uphold your thing because Luke Lewis and Wade Graham are good. Chris McKenna was okay.
Mate,
yeah.
Luke Lewis on your right edge, Wade Graham on your left. He's got that left foot for the kicking, Wade Graham.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mhm,
you'd really
mhm.
like Wade Graham on one of your edges, I feel.
Wakefield Trinity.
Right. David Fifita
Yes.
and right. I'll put him in the Wakefield team because he played for them. Ali Lautiti.
Yes, nice.
Lautiti.
Yeah, he finished at Wakefield, I believe. He had big career at Leeds and New Zealand, but finished at Wakefield. Great player. What an offload of Lautiti.
Correct.
And he, I think when Tony Smith had just gone to Leeds in 2004, Lautiti was the icing on the cake when he signed him in the middle of the season because that's when they won the Super League. Yeah, it really was.
Agreed. Great stuff.
Mm.
Taylor.
Mark Applegarth.
Yeah.
He played in 1984, and then also in alphabetical order, Bill Ashurst, who played in 1948.
He was good, Bill Ashurst. Was he definitely a second rower?
Second row or bench.
Mate, I think
I'm not
Taylor
sure.
might have the best second rower there.
Right.
With Bill
okay.
Ashurst. He was a gun by
Probably
all
so,
accounts.
yeah. He pulled one out the bag there, but he's done well. Credit to you on that, Taylor.
Taylor, I'm going to give it you. Bill Ashurst was a legend.
Well, his dad, Matt Ashurst. Or is it his
Matt
son?
Ashurst.
Is it his son, Matt Ashurst?
Well, what? His son played?
Yeah.
You can't name
maybe
three.
His grandson, perhaps. Has he? Ashurst has played lately for Wakefield, hasn't he, Matty?
Yeah.
Ashurst? Well regarded.
Yeah.
He might have been his grandfather. I'm not sure, to be honest. But
The score is Taylor Brown 11, James Varley 9. What a contest this is.
Jeez, I'm pulling out.
Taylor, North Queensland Cowboys.
I'm gonna say one that's a bit how you going here, and I don't know how you're going to receive to it. Glenn Hall. Now I love Glenn Hall. I love Glenn Hall for one reason. He was the perfect person to run off Jonathan Thurston. He provided an option. He was really good back rower. He wasn't well known, but he won a competition there. So Glenn Hall's my one. And then the infamous Steve Sargent, the flaming ranger, the angry ranger at the scrum. I'm going for Sargent.
I'd say that. Well, yeah. I back him up I back him up on Glenn Hall because Glenn Hall did have a spell at Bradford in about 2011.
New rule: you're not getting a point for repeat talking. So if you say the same one, you're not getting.
Right.
Oh, you're all upset.
We're not passing Tom Malolo as a second rower, are we? Or are we?
No, what?
Minus. Oh dear, I'm struggling here.
Did
Taylor,
Paul,
you win the round and you get the thing, so you're now 14. James is 8.
Did Paul Rahehe play a bit?
James was talking detritus then.
Did Paul Rahehe play a bit of back row, or was he truly front row?
I know Rahehe, yeah, because I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago as a prop.
Who was the fella, tall white fella, who was playing in the comp winning side, who always looked old whenever he played, but he was a good player?
I know who you're thinking of. He's only just retired. He's one of their highest capped players, mate. He played for Queensland not long ago too. Oh, why does his name escape me?
You chip away at that, and then I'll keep going through here. Wigan Warriors, James.
Simon Horton and Dennis Betts.
Horton was good.
Simon Horton was it? They had to retire. Did he have have to retire from injury or something? Because wasn't he a quick second rower as well?
Yeah, very good, huge too. Yeah. They've had a few over the years. Wigan, to be fair, good second rowers.
Andy Goodway before that. Back to the 80s.
Yeah, Andy Goodway, very good. Yeah. Yeah.
He improved a tackling machine from the
Phil Clark used to slip into the second row, and Andy Farrell.
He did.
Ellery was still there. Yeah. Some belters. Sean O'Loughlin's played second row.
Yeah, they've had a lot. Yeah.
Sorry, we're giving Taylor some answers here. Taylor.
We are.
Bateman.
Yeah.
He's there right now, and although I am clutching, he can play the game. That bloke.
He can.
He can absolutely play the game. And this is just a current player. They got Cade Cust. He come from Manly. He played a bit of back row.
He's an halfback. Is he a scrum half?
No, Cade Cust.
He's an halfback. I'm sure
he's a forward.
He's a forward.
Is he? I'm sure he's played scrum half for Wigan. I'm certain.
Maybe he has.
Yeah, I'm sure he's an halfback, but I stand mistaken. But I'm sure.
Nah, he was a back rower.
Standoff. Play standoff. Right, so you lose a point. Taylor.
Oh, jeez. Well, Kate Ellis is there. Kate Ellis, take me back.
So you're gone, Taylor. So, James, you win that round in terms of having the best. So it's now 14-11. You forgot another one though, boys. Ryan Hoffman.
Gavin Cooper.
Yes. Yeah, Melbourne.
Gavin Cooper was that one. Yeah, he was a good player. Good player.
We haven't forgot Ryan Hoffman. We just go, mate, stop naming names, right? Melbourne hasn't come up yet.
Parramatta Eels, Taylor.
Well, Nathan Hindmarsh goes without saying.
Yep.
Nathan Hindmarsh was outstanding. And if we're picking pairings on players that would have played well together, if Nathan Hindmarsh was your workhorse on one side of the field that did all the hard work, I'm going to throw out a current player in Sean Lane to go on the other edge.
Mate, he had a great second half of this season.
Yeah, and he would work well with Hindmarsh because Hindmarsh be on your right edge doing all your hard yakka. Sean Lane's got a beautiful ball in him. His hands are crisp.
You're just sucking up to me with that. James?
He took the words out of my mouth with a modern player because we're going to go for the two modern ones.
Go on then.
Is Isaiah Papalai on the right edge, and I was going to mention Sean Lane as well because I think, but Hindmarsh is a legendary one.
How many are you naming? Who's your two that you?
I'll name Hindmarsh and Papalai, but
no, because you said Sean. Right, this is shocking.
Right,
Taylor, I love your second row thing, so you get 2 points, James.
Right,
but you get a third point, Taylor.
And okay? Gavin Cooper is who we were talking about.
You're not getting any points for that.
That was the Cowboy back row.
I know you've already told me. Have you forgotten? What are you, a goldfish?
Gavin Cooper. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Warrington Wolves, Jimbo. Oh, jeez. Simon Gillies had a spell at Warrington. Simon Gillies had a spell there, and I'm just right. Louis Anderson.
Oh.
Had a spell in Tony Smith's time at Warrington.
Correct. Yeah. Taylor.
More recently, Ben Murdoch-Basila.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Jason Clark play any back row for him or just lock? Did he play on an edge? Jace Clark?
I think if there's any doubt, you need to have that point deducted. Thank you. So, James, you win that round. I'm going to throw in a couple more, though, there. Paul Cullen.
Yes, yeah.
Excellent player. And the late Mike Gregory, who played loose forward, second row.
Yeah. Also Bruce Maguire in the early 90s. Bruce Maguire. Because we're not going to name Sheffield Eagles, are we? So I thought, well, I can have Maguire.
And there's somebody else that is on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember. Derbyshire. Was it Derbyshire?
Paul Derbyshire, yeah.
Paul Derbyshire, yeah.
They got a fair side now.
Gary Sanderson as well at that time. Gary Sanderson.
Taylor, Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, so this one will be Ryan Hoffman on one edge. I think he goes without saying, Ryan Hoffman. And the other one is Felice Kafusi, probably the highest capped back rower.
James.
Kenny Bromwich.
Oh, I love Kenny Bromwich.
And I'm maybe struggling a little bit with a with the second one. But I might have to repeat Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, well,
Ryan Hoffman.
Ryan Hoffman
no
was
point.
Ryan Hoffman.
So you win that, Taylor. Stephen Kearney.
Stephen Kearney, yeah.
Did Tawera Nickau play any second row?
The only person I could
forward Nickau.
He was mostly, but he would have played some second row, I'm sure.
Would, yeah.
There'll be some belters that aren't even occurring to us right now, too.
Yeah, there will be some belters. There's probably people that are listening to this screaming.
Yes.
There will
but
be.
Yeah, there will be for sure.
Yeah. You're right. What a great podcast.
Yeah, Ben Rorty. There you go, Ben Rorty.
He played for Huddersfield as well. Now you mentioned him. Yeah, he played for Huddersfield.
Well, it's a bit late now. Taylor, do you mind now researching, Taylor, because I'm busy hosting and keeping score.
Dallas Johnson.
Oh, how did we miss that?
Didn't he play for Wigan as well? Did he?
Probably.
Dallas Johnson. I might be wrong.
Yeah. Dallas Johnson was there. There's some. I'm just looking at their team of the century here. Team of the decade, sorry. And geez, they had a cracking side here. Somehow Cooper Cronk gets missed at halfback for Brett Camorley, but
excuse me, you just mentioned another position.
Oh, here we go. Turn it up.
That's a warning because you did mention that you're talking team of the century, so you are allowed to appeal. James, London Broncos.
Peter Gill and Solomon Hamono.
What about how quick you did? Peter Gill and Solomon Hamono.
Yeah, I've kind of been thinking that one in the memory bank as soon as you said all these clubs.
Taylor?
I know Nick Sliney played at the London Broncos. Nick Sliney.
Was he definitely a second rower?
Yeah, he definitely played second row and front row. And I'm not even going to pretend to find another one. I'm Googling at the moment, and they must be in championship at the moment or something. Because
don't find you're not going to find a winner now.
No, I'm gone.
Did Terry Matterson ever play second row for him?
I'm not. I know he will lose lock forward. I'm not absolutely sure. I know Peter Gill was in that second row that time.
But father of Ryan.
Yeah. What about Steel Retchless? Steel Retchless, the second rower?
Yeah.
No, he was the trainer. Take a point. Take a point, Lee.
No.
Who's next? Go on then.
I'm just giving a score update, thank you. I'm the host. Taylor Brown 16, James Varley 14.
Oh, I need a streak away.
And we're only, we're not even halfway through. Sydney Roosters.
Okay. Boyd Cordner, who I think is one of the best. And then on the other edge, Sonny Bill Williams.
Oh. James.
Sonny Bill Williams, I'd say, but I know I'm copying what you're saying. I was trying to think of another one, really. I've just been caught
so many good ones.
Caught a little bit on the hot by this format. I'm trying to think.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Mate,
I'll step in here.
Taylor's won that. Taylor's won that. You're gone, James.
Brian Fletcher.
Brian Fletcher played for him.
Yeah.
Mozza played second row.
Craig Fitzgibbon.
He did, yeah.
Luke Ricketson probably played a bit of second row as well.
Well, he was a lock, and he was also the sexiest man in the league for a long time. So if you're going to talk about Luke Ricketson, you put him in the respective lock forward like we will next week.
One of the other reasons I didn't put Redcliffe Dolphins in it because you'd have put yourself in the team, wouldn't you? Widnes Vikings, James.
Right. Imosi Kaloto and Paul Hume. Imosi Kaloto in those late 80s was immense.
Imosi Kaloto.
Yeah. He was immense. Kaloto's handling skills when they had that team when they won in 89, won the title.
Yeah. Mate, Paul Moriarty, Richard Ayres.
Yeah, well, yeah. But Paul Hume was a legend, quite a name there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Go on, Taylor.
Oh, look, I'm not even going to pretend to know. I know one bloke there that's playing there now named Adam Lawton, but I don't know anyone in history or nothing. So take it off me. Take it off me. James,
you've got it.
Gareth Hopp did play for them as well for a spell.
All right, you've won the point, James.
Yeah.
You're running Taylor close now.
We're coming. Tit for tat.
Sydney Rabbitohs.
Or the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Well, I think you have to talk about John Sutton here. You can't talk about the Rabbitohs back row without talking about John Sutton. And I think on the other end, just for the punch that he put on Braith and Nasta is far longer. Just for the sweetest right hand to rugby league history, David Farlonger.
Another one at Huddersfield who I forgot about. David
Stop going on about Huddersfield. Wrong club.
You hadn't even mentioned Huddersfield as a club.
No.
James has got 1 page of notes on back rowers and 4 pages on Huddersfield Giants.
I believe I couldn't get one for Huddersfield.
Taylor, you run that round. Thank you. Bradford Bulls, you're screwed here, though, Taylor. This could be the big comeback.
Right. I'm gonna go back a bit. I'm gonna go Paul Medley.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
And Roy Powell.
Oh, good.
So I'm going way back.
Roy Powell, yeah.
Roy Powell, a tackling machine.
Yeah.
A good career at Leeds before.
Michael Jordan and Scott Pippen both played for the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, but still.
Is this right, James? Michael Jordan and.
No, not nice for Bradford Bulls. Chicago Bulls,
2 points gone.
You're now for the Bulls.
5, 10, 15.
I can tell you the back rows for the Bankstown Bulls.
25. 5, 10, 15, 18, 20. 25 plays 20, boys. 25 plays 20. I'm flipping between my things. Canberra Raiders.
Oh, I hadn't thought about this one too much, if I'm being honest. But towards it, I'm going to go Josh Papali'i because he played a lot of back row for the Raiders. Yes, he did. Don't give me that look. He started as a back rower. He's played for Queensland as a back rower lead. Don't even give me that look. Before the mullet, okay? 20 kilos ago, all right? If that puts it in perspective. And then, this is such a... Oh, no, I don't think he did. Man, I was going to go Terry Campese towards the end of his year, career.
Shocking.
But there's a few other names coming to mind. But I'm
failing miserably.
I'm losing. I'll fail this one. Canberra.
James.
Going to throw my 2 bolters in. Elliot Whitehead and John Bateman.
Yeah, well, you win that round.
Well, Hudson Young's there. Hudson Young's there. I didn't want to go for current players because Hudson Young's there and a few current obvious ones. I was trying to go for more different era.
26, 23.
Brilliant one, Bradley Clyde.
I was just going to say Bradley Clyde.
What a player he was. What a player he was.
Dave Furner.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were belters. I was just going to say Bradley Clyde. I was going to shout at you for getting that wrong.
Sorry to interrupt, but what a player he was.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. That's all you've done today. We're done, Bradford. Okay. Hull Kingston Rovers.
Clint Newton. Yeah. And right, he played a couple of games for him. Willie Mason.
Oh, he did too.
You sure he played in the second row?
I'm not absolutely certain.
You can't, mate.
I know he played a couple of games for him.
Point deducted.
Okay, I'm trying to think of what.
Taylor.
Kane Lynette.
Yes. Oh, I should have got him.
Yeah, who else?
That's it. That's all I'm going for.
All right. You know what, though? James wins that round because Clint Newton's a better player. And wasn't Graham one of the lows? Phil Lowe.
Phil Lowe, yeah. Phil Lowe, yeah. From
Brisbane Broncos, Tyler, mate.
I think Sam Thaiday has got to be mentioned there. I think he's just, long history. Sam Thaiday at the Broncos played all his football there and was a cracking player. And then Gordon Tallis.
Lovely. James.
Right, he took the words out of my mouth with Tallis, but I'll go for 2. I'll go for Brad Thorne.
Yeah.
Oh, cracker.
Matt Gillette, the current one, Matt Gillette.
Oh, that's a good second row pairing too.
Yeah, Brad Thorne. It was when we were talking about props last week. I don't know if he ever played prop Brad Thorne, but excellent player. Did he play rugby union as well for the All Blacks?
He's a dual international. He played But he's also a dual international for 2 countries. He played for Australia in rugby league and then for the All Blacks in Union. So he played for the best of the best in both.
Taylor, you get that round for Tallis and Thaiday. James, I acknowledge that you're going to say Tallis. I don't think anybody wouldn't have mentioned Tallis, to be quite frank.
I'd have said those 2, to be fair, but I thought...
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Brad Thorne's a fair pick. He was one of the better players.
Yeah, definitely. Salford Red Devils, James.
This is going back again. Paul Forber and Ian Blease.
They would have been 2 that I mentioned. So I might give you an extra point for that. Taylor?
Yeah.
Marwan Kukash.
Wrong.
What?
Point gone. Yeah.
He's the most important back rower they had. He sat at the back and threw the money. No, I've got nothing. Elijah Taylor.
You've got nothing. James, you win that round. I can tell you now that the scores are dead even.
Right.
29-29. Oh, what a competition. We might need a tiebreaker. St. George, Illawarra Dragons.
Craig Fitzgibbon, who did start his career at the St. George Illawarra Dragons. And then Ben Cray.
Lovely.
Yeah, I was going
James.
I was going to say Ben Craig.
Ben Craig, that's the wrong name.
Ben Craig.
Craig.
So there's a point deducted for having the wrong name.
Right.
The wrong name, John Vale. Yeah.
John Vala.
Boom.
Scott Gawley years ago for him. Scott Gawley, I think. I was just trying to come out with a name.
That's what I do when I got something in my throat. A big Gawley.
Scott Gawley.
There'll be a plethora. A plethora of good back rowers that have played for St. George.
Dean Young, Tyson Frizzell, Lance Thompson.
Lance Thompson, yeah.
Gordon Tallis.
Gordon Tallis also played for them.
Right. I could have had a bolter there, couldn't I?
You're right about Scott Gawley, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a point back for that. So you're on. But mate, Taylor, you win that round. It's 32-29.
Quick, what's the next team? So I'll Google it.
I can't Google because I'm doing this on the phone.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Preparation, mate. Preparation breeds.
Lee Centurions. Sorry, Lee Leopards.
Right, Lee Centurions. Right. This is going right. I'm going to use Gareth Hock for them.
Yeah,
because I know he's played for them, and I'm trying to go way back. This is way back. This is from the 90s, but the name I thought of, Andy Collier for Lee. Lee had one called Andy Collier, a back rower.
Definitely second rower.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. I think Ian Potter played for Lee as well, though. When I mentioned for Wigan.
For the knowledge, I'm going to give you a good old extra point there. Yeah, Taylor.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing. You win that round, James. It's now 25, 30, 32 plays. 32. Woohoo! Manly Sea Eagles.
Oh, this is my favourite by far. This is my favourite combination. And Glenn Stewart and Anthony Watmo.
Yes.
James.
I think that's my favourite all time.
I've already mentioned him for London Broncos. Can I mention him again for Manly?
Yeah.
Solomon Hamono and Steve Menzies.
That's a good back row partnership too.
What did you say? Glenn Stewart and who?
And Anthony Watmo.
Chalk Watmo.
Yeah. Affectionately known as the Chalk to every New South Wales fan.
And didn't Glenn Hall, who we've mentioned, he played for Manly as well, didn't he? Glenn Hall, I believe.
If you tell me, Lee, who's the best player that you've ever seen get the ball, not on an unders line, but when they get dropped under, attacking through the middle? Steve Menzies. Chalk Watmo was pretty good. For
that comment, James wins around. Steve Menzies is the daddy of all second rowers.
Brilliant back rower. I mean, his deft handling skills, because he had a spell at Bradford as well at the back end.
That's right, James. This is why I gave you the point. Yeah. Leeds Rhinos.
Right. I'm going to go way back here with two. I'm going to go pre-Super League era. Gary Mercer and Paul Dixon.
Lovely.
Mm.
Taylor, the quicker you rattle them off, then less time for Googling for the other fella, isn't it?
I'm gone. I'm in trouble here. No, nothing.
Again, Adrian Morley, as somebody had mentioned.
George Buchanan, Carl Ablett, you can talk more recent.
There's been plenty. Even Chris McKenna played at Leeds, I think.
Well, he did, yeah.
Dave Turner played at Leeds.
Mm.
James, you win that round. 33-29. Taylor, get ready. Canterbury Bulldogs.
Willie Mason.
Who?
Willie Mason.
He's not a second rower.
Yes, he was. He was a second row of the Bulldogs. He played with another 11 on his back. I'm staring you deep in your eyes right now. I'm ready to fight. I'm from Bankstown. Don't tell me Willie Mason didn't play back row.
I'll bow to your, Josh Jackson, yeah.
And Josh Jackson.
Yeah, James.
I'm sure Canterbury had one called Matthew Ryan.
Matt Ryan did play there. Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. And I'll go. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I can come up with an original one. I'll go Mason. Mason stands out like a sore thumb.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Taylor, you get that round. You're on 32. James is on 34. Boys, I'm just telling you now that we need a tiebreaker. You know what we're going to do? Gold Coast Titans. Castleford Tigers.
Right. This again is going back. Right. I'm going Mike McMeekan, more recent, and going back to the 90s. Going back to the 90s again. Maybe a bit of an obscure one. Ian Smales.
I remember him well.
Mm.
You know who else played for Cass? To wear a Nick out.
Tony Morrison. Nick out did, but I'm putting him mainly more as a lock. But yeah, he did. Tony Morrison in the 90s.
Yeah.
Morrison.
Yep. Good.
Keith England and Martin Ketteridge.
Ketteridge did, yeah. Was England? England might have played more at prop, but he probably played in the back row as well.
What era is Keith England?
They both played England, in the 1986 final against HLKR.
Yeah, you're looking at the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with yours, James, again.
Okay.
I'm just getting some points. I'm happy to get some points.
37-33. Newcastle Knights.
Oh, I've got one here that Taylor's going first.
You know what the tiebreaker will be? It'll be your best 2 second rowers.
Well, haven't we got our team? We've got to pick our team at the end too, don't we?
2, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have 2 second rowers.
Yeah.
I might extend the bench, actually, so we've got 3.
Yeah, okay. Steve Simpson played back row for the Newcastle Knights.
Oh. Yeah, he did.
For a long time. He was a really, really classy player.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go with their current one, Tyson Frizzell.
You know who we didn't mention for Manly? Noel Cleal.
And also Daniel Gartner were decent for Manly as well. But Noel Cleal, absolute legend. But yeah, Cleal were brilliant. I'm going off my pre-prepared list here, Lee.
Have you named me a Newcastle Knight?
Ben Kennedy.
Are these delaying tactics?
Oh, Kennedy was a lock.
I thought he was more a second rower.
He was a second rower, yeah, he was.
BK?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to rename him now. Clint Newton, did he play for Newcastle?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
So Clint Newton, Ben Kennedy, who did you say, Taylor?
He beats me. I had Steve Simpson and Tyson Frizzell.
Yep, fair enough.
He actually comfortably.
Conceding. 40 to James, 35 to Taylor, and we're starting to get near the end game. Catalans Dragons, oui, Monsieur James.
Right, I'm going to put Steve Menzies in their team because he played for them.
That's fine.
And I'm trying to think of another one for him. Cassiano would be I might lose a point on that because he's a prop, isn't he?
He was a prop.
He was a prop.
The prop you've just won. The point you've just won, you've lost.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Taylor,
think of other
Ben Garcia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Kenny Edwards. Kenny Edwards had a stint there. He played for Parramatta as a back rower. Kenny Edwards.
Parramatta.
Yeah. Kenny Edwards.
You said Steve Menzies, though, didn't you, James?
Steve Menzies.
Yeah, he's better than both them second rowers together, really. But you come up with a combination, Taylor, so you get the point. 30-28, kick to come. New Zealand Warriors.
Stephen Kearney.
Oh, whoa, it's Taylor.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it is. Yeah,
to be or not to be. Do I just come over?
All those listening rather than watching will know exactly that that's James. Stephen Kearney. Taylor, go on.
No, let James go first. Let him go first.
No, because he's breaking the whole thing. You just want time. Go.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to think of old school ones.
By the way, if you repeat what he says, he said it out of line. So
right. Is Taylor going first, or am I?
Yeah, Taylor's going first.
Mate, I'm actually
sorry.
Ruben Wiki.
Yes.
He played back row for the Warriors. And I want to go for a good old school one, but I'm stumped. So I'm just going to go with a current Josh Curran. I didn't want to. I wanted to go for a really good old school one, but I can't. I'm having a fog on the Warriors.
So who did you say?
Josh Curran.
And who else?
Ruben Wiki. He played back row for the Warriors.
Yeah, they're good. And who did you say? Who's yours, James?
Stephen Kearney.
I'm going to go Dennis Betts for New Zealand Warriors going back because he played for them when they were formed. And I'm not going to mention another British player that played for them because he was more a prop when they were formed.
That's right. You're thinking Andy Platt. You know what? I'm going to give you that round, James.
What?
Right.
Dennis Betts was a Great Britain second rower, mate. It was very good. 33-30. And we've only got one NRL team left and one Super League team left. Hull FC, James.
Oh, Simon Mannering. Why didn't I pick
him?
Oh,
I forgot to mention him. Yeah, Simon Mannering.
Right. This is going back. Yeah. This is going back.
And Ali Lawatiti would have played for them, wouldn't he?
Quinton Pong.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
Hull FC. Steve McNamara. And I'm naming him again. That's the thing. Stephen Kearney.
Oh, you've said Stephen Kearney in 5 teams.
Did he play for Hull? Definitely.
He did play for Hull. Yeah.
Are you sure?
In 05, he played for Hull. He got sent off against a certain team in a playoff game at Odsall. And Bradford put 74 points on them.
Correct. You got that right. Yep. Go on, Taylor.
Shane McAnamy.
Yeah, Shane McAnamy.
And Chris Chester.
Chris Chester were a good player. More a half-back, loose forward.
Who were your two? Who were your two, James?
Steve McNamara and Stephen Kearney.
Yeah, you win that round. The score with one NRL team left is 36 to James, 32.
Oh, he's run away
to Taylor. Now, there is a chance for you to pull level, Taylor. Is that if you get all 4 points, if you, I think, and he loses some.
Yeah.
So don't give up yet. West Tigers, away you go, Taylor.
Benji Marshall was a good back row for the West Tigers, mate.
So
I'm gonna steal one. I'm gonna steal one that James will use. Gareth Ellis.
Yes.
Yes, stolen one.
Because I guarantee you would have tried to use him. And then Anthony LaFranchi.
Nice.
He's just taken both of mine. He's just taken both of mine. I'm gonna have to try and think about it.
I knew you'd go for Gareth Ellis.
West Tigers.
Jackson Hastings.
Lee Lewis plays for them, don't they?
No,
no, -1.
Oh no.
I'm going to leave it open-ended now to see what you come up with, James. Because if you lose another point, Taylor wins a round anyway, and it's level.
I might be better keeping Stum.
No, you've got to name one. You've got to name one.
Right. I'm trying to think. Right. Was there an Anthony LaFranchi played for West?
I just said Anthony LaFranchi.
That's the point done. Oh my
Taylor.
God.
Why did he?
Taylor, you win that round. It's 34-34.
How did you look off
Right,
into the distance
okay.
and say the name I just
Oh,
said?
James.
I know. I was thinking about. I thought
Flopping at the line.
I know.
So, boys, the tiebreaker now is going to be you're going to pick. I just said piss there for somebody. Pick your 3 best second rowers: left edge, right edge, and a bench one. What we'll do with this team, boys, is we'll have a really long extended bench with yeah.
All
We'll
right.
said it's a trial match.
Okay.
So, we'll think of your 3 best. I'll have one from Taylor, one from James, so on and so forth.
Well, how about we do? Are we going to do left edge, sort of your attacking, right edge, your rock, and then a bench?
As always, Taylor, the more you explain and the way you explain your combination, including your bench second rower, that will come into the beam. Okay. So, James.
I've got my 3.
James.
Right. I've got
First back rower, please. All in one.
Steve Menzies. Steve Menzies.
On the
left edge.
Okay, so JV Menzies. Yeah. TB?
I also have Steve Menzies on my left edge.
Okay. After you said he wasn't the best one. Right,
no,
James?
I have Steve Menzies on the left edge, and I'll explain at the end why I've got him there.
On my right edge, I've got Gordon Tallis.
Oh, that's a good right edge.
Taylor?
I have Boyd Cordner.
Oh.
Too many penalties in Gordon Tallis. Too many.
James, your 3rd second rower.
Right. We were right. Ben Kennedy. We're classing him as a second row because if not, I'll come up with some others.
He is. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Taylor?
Worker.
I have someone that's going to meld well with my front rowers on the bench with Fafita that's going to create the damage. I have Glenn Stewart. I have him coming on to fill Menzies on the left edge and then Menzies possibly going into a roaming position. Yeah. Because Menzies can cover center as well. So Glenn Stewart comes on to cover Menzies. Menzies can cover centers, which gives me cover for my outside backs at the same time.
Basically, it comes down to a question whether Cordner and Stewart are better than Tallis and BK and Ben Kennedy. And I've got to be honest, I think if I couldn't call it, my idea I had, I was going to put it out to the social media and then come up with a resulting point next week, just based on comments and whatnot.
Yes.
But I think I know what the populace will say. They will say that Tallis and BK are better second rowers than Cordner and Stewart.
They will.
James Varley, you are our second row champion. Well done.
Right.
They will say that.
Yeah.
They will. Congratulations.
I want to throw into the mix though. I want to throw in Menzies, Tallis, obviously. I want to throw in people like Brad Clyde, obviously. Fantastic player.
Matt Adamson, not a bad back rower as well. One we haven't mentioned. Penrith.
Absolutely.
And Sam Burgess didn't spend my time on the edge. I think he was more of a respected lock, but he was great on the edge when he was there.
Sonny Bill Williams deserves a shout. No Cleal. And I'm a massive fan of Elliot Whitehead now. Really am.
Yeah. Another good one from the early 90s, Paul Sirinen.
Paul Sirinen was a great player.
But I said West Tigers, so technically I could have pulled you up for that because he only played for the Balmain Tigers.
Yeah, they played for the Balmain Tigers, yeah.
So I could have pulled you. Yeah, I left that. I didn't say anything just to see if one of us tripped up. Yeah, look, I still recognise that the people would have picked Tallis and they would have picked Ben Kennedy, and I have more respect for those players, but I stand still with what I pick. I would have been happy with Cordner on that edge. The reality is, mate, that the 2 players you've picked were excellent too. So now we need to look at what our team is. I'm writing this in my diary here. If we ever have to call it back, then it's on 7th of December in my diary, right? Because I've gone to a page that was blank. I wasn't have been doing much note taking on 7th of December. So who did we pick on a prop between us?
Well, we didn't. We had different sides.
I know, but who did we decide on in the end? Because I decided on the best, didn't I?
I picked Lazarus. Sorry, Taylor.
Yeah. No, you go, mate. You go.
I picked Lazarus and Morley, and then Webke and Paolo on the bench. You can remember that.
That's
but I'm
right.
not
What
sure.
did you pick? What did you pick, Taylor?
I picked Webke and Graham. And then Fafita on the bench with, I believe it was JWH.
Yeah, I wrote you off. So Lazarus and Webke, did you say?
Lazarus and Morley starting, and then Webke and Paolo on the bench. That's who
And
I
I
named.
think, did I give you a bench spot, Taylor?
I don't know if you didn't pit us off against each other. I think you just wrote out separate teams down, and we were going to see at the end who had we were going to compare teams. I thought that was the gist.
No.
And we both picked Smith at hooker.
Yeah, we both did.
I thought we'd
Then
come up with a team between us.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's do it that way.
So far, we've got Lazarus, Smith, and Morley in the front row. Menzies left edge. Tallis right edge.
I'd have those two as my back rowers, definitely.
Webke, Paulo, and Ben Kennedy on the bench.
Yeah, because I'm
starting the makings of a bloody good side there.
Yeah, I named Buderis on the bench, but then I were rethinking my team a little bit this week because I forgot that Andrew Johns had played at hooker. I forgot that one, but I'm not going to change my.
Is that how you want to do it? Do you want to do it your best teams? But
well,
you got to remember. You got to remember who you picked, Taylor.
I wouldn't. I do.
Yeah, let's go best teams.
I wouldn't have.
We'll do a combined one as well.
I wouldn't have picked an extra hooker on my bench if I had Smith.
You see, the other thing is you've lost both tiebreakers both weeks anyway, Taylor. So your team would already be worse. So if I were you, I'd pull out of that contest now.
I'm not pulling out of that contest. I still am happy with the modern game, how it's played, the team I've picked. Mobile, aggressive. I'll back them in.
Yeah. No.
And that's very interesting as well, because Varley does bring that, obviously, that era that I did watch, but I just am seeing and immersing myself more in the current game, and that's the type of upspeed game I'd like to play.
What was interesting? Sorry, go on.
You got to think if I was coaching this side or if I was involved in this side, what I would like to do and the game plans I'd like, and that's why I'd like that side. See, Glenn Stewart is a bit of an older statesman player, but he's very much the first to bring in that real ball playing type motion, which I love. I love my back rowers to be able to ball play. And that's why I've got him on the bench. I think he can just change a game. I have vivid memories of him coming on into the Origins, and mixing with his brother or Minicello and just creating something out of nothing. Glenn Stewart was great for that.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt. I guess what hit me today with regards to our discussion was, number one, how fantastically I hosted it and pulled it all together. Number two, how many there is. And we actually forgot some. And when we moved on, we were going back to teams, and like you said, mate, there'll be people throwing things at the YouTube that they're watching, or throwing their phone, their device, saying these boys don't know what they're on about. There is literally loads of them, loads and loads.
Liam Martin's a back rower, isn't he? It was you're playing lock for Australia. So Liam Martin, what a World Cup he had.
There's also a player in that Penrith team that in 2003 that escapes me.
I'll tell you, it's Frank Pritchard and Tony Pullatua. They were the back rowers.
Trent Waterhouse, what position did he play?
He played.
Was he lock? Was he lock forward?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, we're doing the locks next week, boys.
Yeah.
Well,
and the problem is, Taylor, when you're hosting, there's only one position, whereas everyone I've done so far has been two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's only one position.
Yeah.
That was a I love locks are great. That's going to be a really good podcast, actually.
I've got a lot of names already for that on me. Well, some great British names, but I'll reveal them next week. So
keep your own record, boys, of your teams.
Yeah.
Joe Nullavau, Tony Pullatua, Trent Waterhouse was on the bench. Ben Ross, Shane Rodney. What a side. Coming up against the Roosters. Geez, they had a good side. Fitzgibbon and Morley in the back row. Andrew Lomu, Chris Flannery. Flannery
was said as well. One of his Flannery played for St Helens for a bit.
Michael Crocker played hooker.
Well, how many positions could he? Was he just a hooker, or did he play lock as well?
He played all over.
He played back row too. Mick Crocker. He played back row.
But a great utility one that is a back as well. What a utility player Craig Wing was, but that might come in later on. But
yeah. Well, he was in that 2003 side. You know,
He
and
again played rugby union, didn't he, Craig Wing, after that?
I
He
think
went to the Wallabies.
Ryan Cross and Shannon Hegarty, they were the Australian centres at the time, I'm pretty sure. 03, 04 around there. They were great. They played for the Roosters.
Yeah.
Boys, we'll have to record a bit later next week. I'm going to the Gabba.
You go on the Gabba?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, which day's best for you next week, Lee?
Well, we probably don't need to tell everyone, but yeah, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
The best day will be when there's no cricket on.
Yeah.
So because I go to every day, basically.
Lads, I know it's the other sport, but have we all recovered from Sunday morning, or I mean, I don't know, Saturday night for you, Varley? I think
for me, Taylor, no word of a lie, and I think it's the same for a lot of us Northerners. We're always Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Everton first, and England second when it comes to football. It's just the way we're bred and the way we're cut and everything. So my first instinct was two instincts. Number one, I put money on France to win 2-1. So that was a bit of a nice thing. And I only did that because I thought that's what might happen. Number two, it meant all players bar one of Man City's in the tournament are now out and resting. And the one that's left, Alvarez, is City's second choice striker, and he scored 2 in the semi-final.
Right. Yeah, because Foden did all right for England, didn't he? How old's still Foden? Is he? How old is he?
About 12. So to answer your question, as much as I wanted England to win, I don't lose any sleep over it. Whereas City, I would lose sleep. Yeah. So. All right, boys.
All right.
How did Australia go, Taylor?
Very good compared to Australian standards.
Yeah.
You know, unlike England in the Rugby League World Cup, I don't think there'll be any internal meetings. I don't think we're in crisis talks. I don't think
there will be in England. I think they've lost the stomach for it. I really do.
I think they have, really. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised when he put that over the bar like that. I mean, I was quite shocked, really. He took the first penalty so well.
Boys, always a pleasure. Take care.
Yeah.
To our listeners and viewers, love yous. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.